Hi, everyone. I'm Jen, and I am really, really thrilled to have Denise here on Hope Hub tonight. As you all know, Hope Hub is an online community that brings together people who have lost their spouses and partners because I believe that community is everything. And we need to be with people who get it. And this is a place where you can do that. It's a place where you can connect with people. It's a place where you can learn from people. I invite amazing experts and spirited individuals to have conversations with me multiple times a week. You can find resources here on Hope Hub. And I know this sounds a little bit raw, but it's really real. It's a one-stop place where you can get all of your emotional and tactical needs met during widowhood. And I feel like I can say that because I'm a widow and it's what I needed. And I wanted to create something that wasn't available to me for you. And so, all that being said, we are here with the incredibly spirited, the incredibly beautiful, the incredibly spiritual Denise Metzger, who has a tragic story just like we all do, but has been able to turn that pain into something so incredibly beautiful and purposeful. And I'm really excited for her to share that journey and, everything that she has learned with you today. So, welcome.
Thank you, Jen. This is really my favorite thing to do is get to share the stories and hopefully pass on strength and peace and healing and a love for life, regardless of the surprises that come, you know.
Yeah,
So thank you
definitely.
for the surprise invite to join you and your audience and pass on. It's been 18 years since Jonnae party hopped. So whatever I can do to ease the pain and to increase the healing, that's what I love most to get to do.
And I couldn't be more happy to be having this conversation. I feel the same. I have a 16-year-old, and sometimes I get off of these interviews or podcast interviews or whatever, and I'm like, on cloud nine. And she's like, "What's wrong with you, mom?" And I'm like, I just love the opportunity to share, my own personal experiences, what I've learned with others. And if one person walks away and says, "I feel seen," or "I feel heard," or "I feel moved," then I that I'm happy with that. So, why don't you just start by sharing a little bit about your story and your journey and how you got to where you are now?
Okay. Well, I'm a mother of five, speaking of teenagers. And I will say, you said 15. Did you say 15 or 16?
16.
Okay, so you got through the 15. I was like, they have the terrible twos. There should be some phrase that goes along with 15 because 15 was the year for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't when they were little. It was when they got to be teenagers. And this story and why I'm here is because my daughter party hopped when she was 15. That's what I call when somebody passes is a party hop. And she was diagnosed with leukemia when she was 12. So I had 3 years we did together and getting to the place where we could accept what we couldn't control and embrace the unpleasant surprises as a gift that we're grateful for. I was sharing with you, I'll tell the story of day one. She woke up with leg pain. And we had no indicators that she was sick. And by 1 o'clock that afternoon, I was in the children's hospital in the hallway with a leukemia diagnosis. And as I was processing, like how I was going to let family know, like where we go from here, I really feel like that's when the doors were blown off for my spiritual journey. I mean, I was raised in church, religious, and believed in God. And I feel like this is when they say you're motivated by desperation or inspiration. I was desperate to be open and curious and follow what I feel like was divine wisdom that started coming to me right away. And as I was in the hallway thinking about reaching out to family, I heard this voice say the only way that she's going to get through it is to find one good thing, no matter how much it's surrounded by bad, find one good thing and cling to it. Well, I was the opposite. I was a perfectionist. I was a perfectionist raised by a perfectionist, and I found the one flaw when it was surrounded by a lot of good.
Me
So if
too.
if the only way that she was going to make it was to find the good, I knew I wanted to lead her. And that's the other thing that came to me in wanting to lead her. It was also crossing my mind that she may pass. Like, how does this end? As racing to the future, wanting to have an answer. And in my head, being raised in the church and with the Bible, I was like, this may be like Abraham being asked to sacrifice Isaac, which in the Old Testament was proving to God, Abraham was going to prove to God that, he was faithful to him. And in the end, he wasn't asked to sacrifice his son. It was a test. So I was like, well, if this is a test in faith, we'll pass it. But then I heard this voice say, what if it's not? Like, what if I don't get to keep her the way that Abraham got to keep Isaac? And my immediate response, and I don't know how other than that it is what it was, I thought, if I don't get to keep her, I won't be the first mom asked to let go of a child. And I will look to the mothers down the road that have let go of a children ahead of me. And I will follow the ones that are living their lives in the way that I want to be able to live mine. So what I'd say to people now is, if you can make peace with the worst case scenario, if there's something in the future that you're worried about, whether it's next week or 5 years from now, if you can face what the worst case scenario is, which is what I did. Okay, if I don't get to keep her, if she passes, I'll look to the moms. That allowed me to come back and be in the present and take it a day at a time with her. And I would have lost so much opportunity and being at peace and enjoy and us celebrating the gift of every day if I was consumed with what if she dies,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes some maybe creativity and definitely some openness to imagine what the worst case scenario could be. And if you can make peace with it and be like, I faced you. If you do come for me, it won't be the first time. And I'm kind of trying to ready myself if that makes sense. That's how it
It
unfolded for
makes
me.
it makes so much sense, and it's so much about why I'm creating this community. I mean, you said I'll look to the other moms that have lost
Uh-huh.
children before,
Right.
and that's what this community about is for the people like myself who've lost, husbands and partners, looking to others who have been through this experience to give each other hope and inspiration and to help each other through this difficult time.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk a lot about you just spoke about worst case scenario. There are so many people in this community right now that are in this, like, this is the worst case scenario. I mean, my husband died, and that is horrible, and I am in the worst case scenario. And so, what I love to talk to you about is, like, how do you move from that? This is the worst case scenario. My life is over. Everything is, going to be terrible forever, to that acceptance that you were able to come to, and that ability to find joy and to move forward, and to really become and have the perspective and the attitude and the joy and the spirit that you have today.
I have become the queen of reframe. And there have been like 3 words that we've said already where I don't use those words anymore. And the reframe came from glorifying the good, finding the one good thing and clinging to it. So, like, even now, I don't perceive what happened with Jonnae as tragedy, or even worst case scenario. And that's the first time when you said worst case scenario right then. It's the first time that it like pinged. And like, what if it was the worst case scenario back then that I was thinking about? But what if the worst case scenario becomes the greatest gift that you could have been given? Because the way that I frame it, and it's really hard sometimes beyond human understanding when people say, I'm so sorry for your loss,
Mhm.
where I share with them, I know that that's empathy and I appreciate it, the compassion. And I'm so grateful that I got to be her mom, that I wouldn't give up the pain it was to let her go. Like, how many people are afraid of dying? And I'm not. I'm intrigued by it because of what I got to experience in those final days with her. I promote that we live life as a surprise party and not a pity party, because I'm able to embrace the gift, even if it's wrapped in pain or devastation. And in the moment that the gift is given and the moment that the unasked for is now our reality, whether it takes a really long time or whether it's an instant
Mhm.
transformation where you can be grateful for that gift, knowing that it may be layers and layers. Like, think of a gift, somebody, when people like just fill a gift bag full of tissue and you're like, is there even a gift in here? Like, you know, like, I'm the metaphor person too. Create a wing frame, and I love metaphors. Yeah. And so it may take a lot of tissue pulling out of that bag to find the gift in it. It may take a lot of layers of
Mhm.
peeling back, the pain or the devastation, the grief before you get to the gift. And if you're focused on finding the one good thing and that's your intention, and you find it, and you can be grateful for it more than angry or sad or whatever. That is the road to peace. And we did have 3 years with her diagnosis. I mean, for the first 2.5 years, we thought she was going to beat Luke. It's what we call leukemia. It's, that she was going to beat Luke. And then she relapsed after that 2.5 years, like right away, like in the first month, she relapsed. We were planning a celebration that she had kicked Luke's butt. And before we even got to the celebration, she had relapsed and it was time to aggressively, prepare for a bone marrow transplant. And we went through the bone marrow transplant and weren't home a month before she relapsed from that too. And then it was just a couple months after that when she party hopped. And the reason I say party hop is that I already said that life's a surprise party. And I offer that it's not party over with the last breath. It's party over for this human body. But none of us knows. It's a surprise what comes after the last breath. And so the spirit party hops on to the next venue. I don't say that I've lost Jonnae because she lives in and through everything that I do. I get
Oh,
goosebumps
I
talking about
have
her all the
goosebumps right
time.
now. Yeah.
See, I did too. See,
Yeah.
gosh. And I always go like this because I love it. And I swear, and I know that it's bigger than what we can perceive in our human thinking. There's so much more to this. I promote that life's a surprise party, and I also believe it's a dream. I think after the last breath, we're going to go, that human experience was just the soul's dream. Like we gave it so much weight. I think there's so much beauty. I don't think. I know there is so much beauty after the last breath, and it's going to blow us away, that I'm more focused on that than this temporary human thing. I mean, I embrace it because it's a gift and it's what I feel like my spirit came for. Why not? See, not feel. I know. I keep going to the knowing. I have this knowing. I don't think, hope, feel as much as if I go into this heart center and know that that's true, because like I said, it's been 18 years and it's been proven to me, and there's been so much evidence that there is a realm beyond this right here that we're sharing. This is beautiful and it's exciting. And then what our loved ones want us to know, what they would want us to do with our life, to live it to the fullest, to allow the grief, to feel the void of them not being here in their human body, and also to know that they're still with us in spirit, and to run with that and to guide other people. I feel like that we're here connected, not feel. See, I keep catching myself. It's we are connected here as a collective, co-creating this experience. And the more of us that can rise above the pain and embrace the unasked for gift and show other people what's possible in it, that you can have the sadness and the grief at the same time that you still are grateful for the experience and embracing everything that it is here to teach us. That's where the bliss is. That's where the joy comes back into your life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my mind is like going all over the place because there's so much in what you just said. And I think, the couple things that I really took from it is, and I use the motions, and now I'm going to do this all the time because I'm going to think of that bag and the tissue paper flying all over the place. And that's that no matter what you feel right now, no matter how much pain, how much grief, how much sadness, like if you keep pulling the tissue paper, you will find the
Mm-hmm.
goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And that goodness will be so powerful that it will make you almost think like, I can't believe it took me so long to get here. And that kind of leads me to another thing that you said when you talk about like honoring that person. I remember, hi, Julie.
Hi. Sorry.
Denise and I are just chatting here. I wasn't expecting you. But
Wait, are there other people here?
no.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was like an open thing to sign up for.
It was. And don't worry, we'll edit this part out. It was, but
Welcome to
like
the party.
welcome to the party.
No,
Yes. I
I
don't
just
think we
saw
should
it on my
edit this out.
reminder and I was like, shoot, I'm late because I had wanted to come.
You're
I'm
right on
glad
time.
you're here now. Yes, the intention was for it to be a party, but
Okay.
we started the party without you, but now you're here.
You can just carry on.
We'll carry on. We'll carry on. Anyway, so one of the things that we were just talking about is the honoring our person, and I was about to share. I remember when Jack died, like 6 months after he died, I went on Facebook and I said, "Hey, can everyone share their favorite memory of Jack?" And I got all of these things, and it was like in my mind, I was so afraid that everyone was going to forget him. And like
Mhm.
I needed to like bring back that memory. And I feel like, listening to you, Denise, and talking about like this continuation of this memory and this spirit and her always being here and, all of this is reminding me of that. And so, I'll just, again, you talk about this passing out. What do you call it again? Party
Party
hopping,
hop.
party hopping.
Yeah. Life's a surprise party, death's a party hop.
Life is a surprise party. So, what have been, I will ask, where have the surprise elements shown up in your life?
Oh,
Where, what,
goodness.
I know there are millions of them, I am sure, but, kind of enlighten us on not only the surprises that can show up in our lives, but how to look for them and how to seek them out, and, in that same way of pulling. I'm obsessed with the tissue paper now.
Yeah.
Same way
No,
of
I love
unpacking the
it.
tissue paper.
Well, like you said, it's about being persistent, like maybe you look and you don't find it yet and you pull another piece of tissue or you take another step or you know what I mean? You stay on track. If you're identifying the intention is you want to heal and you want to find peace and you want to keep their legacy alive, and to know that their legacy now is your legacy. Like you live a legacy before you leave it, right? So Jonnae lived her legacy. I mean, this, and anybody that knows her, and even some mediums or people that I've talked to that haven't met her, like she was like a prophet or something. She was so at 15, knowing she was getting ready to take her last breath. First, she said, "I want to be cremated." Like we were talking about what we're going to have for lunch. I mean, it was just so matter of fact. And I said, "Well, I know." I said, "I want to be cremated at Mama's funeral last year, but you're the one that is at the door. Like, I want it to be your decision, not that I influenced it. Why do you want to be cremated?" And she said, "Well, it says to dust she shall return, and I don't want to be put in the ground to rot." And I was like, "Okay." So I was going to be her mama bear. I knew there'd be pushback from family, about cremation or whatever, but that's what she wanted, and she told me why. And she then, shortly after that, she dreamt she was a star, and this is so funny. She dreamt she was a star. She woke up, and when you wake up and you feel like a dream was so real, and whether you're terrified like from a nightmare or you wish that it was real and you wake up and you find out it was a dream. That's how she was. She was so frustrated that she wasn't a star. And I was surprised, but she'd had a brain bleed. So I thought maybe since she was in and out of being coherent, that's why she dreamt she was a star, because she wasn't into glam and fame and, celebrity. But because she had said that she didn't want people to be sad or worried, and she dreamt she was a star, I say parties are more fun with games. And life's favorite game to play is me truth or dare, because I'm crazy enough to take the dare and find a new truth. The dare that came to me was to send out a memo. We weren't going to do a visitation or funeral. We were going to celebrate Heaven's newest star with a red carpet premiere of her life tribute video at the Grand, which is a historical theater downtown where we live. And when you're speaking of memories and stuff, we made it a fundraiser for leukemia lymphoma. People that wanted to write memories on stars or on memory books.
Oh.
We did that. We created a video of her. She's speaking about family and life and God. And so I have that to go back to where I see her and I hear her. Um, and we had an amazing standing room only celebration at the theater versus the visitation or funeral. That is what showed me when we're talking about what's possible, that I want to show people there's a possibility where you can celebrate a life more than you grieve the end of it. And to not even believe that it's the end. It's the end for the human body, but it's not the end for the spirit, which is what we just said when we were covered in goose. See, I got goosebumps again. Like today is going, go, mom. And I know that. And that's where my joy comes from. I honor the human experience, and I also trust there's so much more than what we perceive in it, and to seek the gifts every day, to just show up for the surprise party. I don't have to plan it. Like, I didn't plan that I was going to meet you or be on the podcast or impact other people in their healing and honoring the grief and still celebrating life at the same time. And if I get up with the intention that I'm going to show up for the party earlier Monday of this week, I had an event that I had signed up to go for. And I was like, do I really want to go to that? And it just pinged in my head, show up for the party. If you stay home and don't get out today, then you don't get to receive all the surprise gifts that are waiting for you and meet the surprise guests that will enhance your life and that you could impact and touch. And that's, it's a daily practice. And the more that you experience the surprise gifts, the more that you honor your intuition, and then you experience, then the easier they come, the more that you pick up on them. Like, people will say, gosh, Denise, those serendipitous things happen to you all the time. They're happening to us all the time. It's that I am intentional and I can see them so much faster now than I could before, because I'm open and curious and ready to receive.
Yeah, and I think that that is, my next question was really going to be about advice to, the people in the community who are in that kind of, dark place where they're hopeful for this life to continue on, for joy to come and so forth, but like what are some of the characteristics that you recommend? You just talked about openness and being ready to receive, and not kind of thinking about this, yes, it's sad, it's horrible, but like what are the beautiful things that can come about it? And so,
Right.
and I to me, that's what you embody. When I met you and I see you speak, and when I hear, you embody that, that there are really beautiful things that that come after someone dies, someone party hops.
Right. Well,
And you've built a whole world, and hope, tell me a little bit about what you do now in your surprise event world.
I'm playful with the whole subject. I mean, death really is, and because I don't see it as death, I see it as a party hop. I'm on a mission, changing the conversation, expectation, and experience around death and dying to normalize. It happens to all of us. We're all one day closer. You can see, if you see this poster back here, it's with the purple right there.
No, I see like the bottom of
Okay,
it, but not
this
the.
is a poster that I ordered. It's called The Weeks of Your Life, and you send your birthday, the day and your birthday and year, and it comes back to you. Like, I've got lines on it. I don't want to live to be 100 years old. There's a line at 85 and a line at like 95. But every one of those blocks represents a week of my life, and so there are 57 rows filled out right now. um and that's like, shows me the sands of the hourglass that I've already got. And some people are like, God, you're so dark, it's so great. No, it's not. That's like showing me, like, don't waste a day, don't waste
Mm.
a week. When you live consciously, you live fuller and more joyful. You don't waste time. You don't let the days tick off. I mean, I don't even say time flies anymore. I say it evaporates. And if I party hop today, I know I've lived a full life, and every day I'm really doing as much as I can. The capacity that I have to do one day might be different than what I have another day. If I feel that I need rest and I'm not about other people and I need to fill myself up, then I do that. Um, I have created these cards. They're called the Conscious Living Deck. And, I don't know that there's another deck that's, there's oracle decks or affirmation decks. And if I just go through these, I pulled the ones that I thought would apply to your community more than maybe some of the others. And I've not done that before. And like half of them, I feel like are practices that could help, will help. Like, to cultivate connection. You can't do it all by yourself. You do get to reach out and cultivate connection with community and people that you feel like can relate to you or are down the road farther than you. Like, don't be an island. Don't isolate. Don't ruminate. Like, reach for the connection of your community. Favor faith over fear. We've already talked about glorify the good. You can honor that there's darkness or there's pain. If you still use the word tragedy or loss, you can do that. But like I said, day one, I was told to find the one good thing when it's surrounded by bad. And I am so fixated and focused on the one good thing that anything bad around it loses its power. I learned to turn, with Jonnae, we learned to turn our have tos into get tos. And this is really like a miraculous, beyond human understanding thing that happened the day we were going to bury ashes. I told you that she wanted to be cremated. We had practiced for 3 years to strengthen our gratitude muscles and to find the good when it was surrounded by bad. I don't even have bad in my vocabulary anymore because I know that there's good and I'm fixated on that. However, when we were getting ready to go bury her ashes and I was thinking, I have to bury my baby today, Like I have a filter that catches it now. Like if you said have to, if I read have to, any have to, I have a filter that catches and converts it into a get to. On that day, like I said, this is 18 years ago. I'm thinking I have to bury my baby today. I'm feeling the emotion any mother would feel. That's expected, that's natural. And I said a prayer. Like I know there's a get to, but I can't find it. Please help me find it. And that's when I heard the voice respond. Only one woman, one in the entire world got to be Jonnae's mom. And she's the one that gets to release her. And I just got goosebumps again into
Yeah,
whatever
me
comes
too.
next. I am so fixated on how grateful I am that I am the one woman that got to be her mom, that grief hardly even visits me anymore. And it's hard for people to be, there were therapists that be like thinking I needed to go through the stages of grief. And until I got angry at God, I wasn't going to be able to heal. And I remember being at an event where a woman approached me and said that, like, you need to be angry. You're spiritually bypassing. And, until you get, and so I was so upset. I got in the elevator and went up to my room, and my roommate was like, after I told her, I was crying. She's like, "Are you angry with God?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm angry, not because Janae's not here, because he keeps surrounding me by morons that think that I've got to feel something that I don't feel. Like, I'm trying to make myself be
That's
angry.
awesome.
I'm trying to make myself be angry. Why would I try to make myself be angry with God when I'm grateful? And like, am I going to force anger and grief over the gratitude that I feel that is really innately, honestly who I am? She was an amazing kid. I mean, I have amazing kids. All my kids are amazing. And she faced death with courage. Like, she taught me how to die with grace and
Mm.
strength and laughter, humor. The Wacky Wednesdays came from her. The celebrations of life that I pre-planned for people. I'm playful with it. And my taglines are, "You're invited to a party to die for. If you want a party instead of a funeral, I've got you covered, only not in dirt." Like, that's not for everybody, but that's how Jonnae and I were able to laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. And I can honor the reverence of a life ending, why I can still celebrate it and have fun around it, because she's the one that showed me it was possible. When people say, "I'm sorry for your loss," describe Jonnae as losing her battle with cancer and I've lost my daughter. I receive that sympathy and then say, she crossed the finish line ahead of my schedule, not ahead of hers and the surprise party planner of the creator of the universe. And she handed the torch on to me. And so it's now time for me to run my race. And I can look at to the example that she gave me, or other moms that have let go of children, other wives or partners that have let go, anybody that's let go of a loved one, that are saying, "You know what? I can celebrate that life and honor that life. It's not spiritually bypassing. It's me carrying the torch." Fueling their legacy is the same time that I'm fueling mine. And that's where all this comes from. And if I feel like one day at a time, you strengthen those muscles, you strengthen that awareness, you use your upgrade, which is another one of these cards, like to know that you have a whole team, a whole host of your loved one and other loved ones that have passed that are cheering us on and saying there is more than what we perceive in our human mind. That's where it happens, where we collectively all show people what's possible when you've experienced what can be the greatest pain of your life and also the greatest gift at the same time.
So tell us what you actually do in your business, which is, this party planning, event planning. And, I know you have all of these like really funny taglines that people are, probably laugh and are mortified at the same time, I mean,
Maybe.
but that's okay. That's cool. That's why I love you. But
I'm promoting
tell
that we
us
have the
kind of how you've
conversation.
taken, this journey and everything that you've talked about and turned it into how you help other people to do
To
this.
make peace with the fact that death is a part of life. And the more that we plan for it,
Mm.
whether it's a conversation or actually pre-planning your celebration. So fast forward, Jonnae party hopped in 2008. 2016, I thought my body and spirit were done collaborating. And I wanted my boys not to be a visitation line hearing "I'm sorry for your loss" for hours. I wanted a fun celebration of my life the way that I created one of hers, the way that she wanted. But who was going to do it for me? Funeral directors told me I was like an Irish wake on steroids and they couldn't help me. Um, my non-negotiables were stilt walkers in the parking lot, a tribal drum ceremony when you enter, and aerial ribbon dancers. Why? None of it makes sense, but I love them all. And that's part of the things that I love about life. And so They said they couldn't help me. Event planners wouldn't meet with me because I couldn't tell them the day of the event or how many people were going to be there. And I was like, there's so many people that would say they want a party, not a funeral. And who's actually planning it so the family's not stuck planning it? Like, I don't want the boys to be like, Mom wanted a celebration, and then we're trying to figure out the venue that would be good or booking a caterer. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I have an event planner that knows my non-negotiables, that knows my budget. Her information is with my insurance, and the boys know to call her, set a date, and show up. That my parting gift to them is a surprise party of my life. And it'll make people laugh. It's not like ego. It's not about me. I want people to laugh as much as they cry. I want them to celebrate that I came as much as they might be sad that I'm not here. The majority of people that will come to that are going to be my boys' friends, not mine. I mean, if I live to be 85 or 90, how many friends am I going to have around that are coming? It's going to be people that want to support them. And I want to leave evidence that one, I was okay with the time when it came, that I thought about it, that I planned it, that I made it something that was uplifting, and give other people permission to do the same thing. So with my business, that's ultimately what I want to do. But I also do these tribute videos where you were saying you wanted memories of your husband. Um, like I did my own video. I interviewed friends and family to share stories of me that would make people laugh or be uplifting. My boys haven't seen those stories. They haven't met those people, but it's waiting as again a part of my parting gift where they'll hear stories they've never heard from people that they've never met that will make people laugh or inspire people. Some of them are profound and inspiring. And even though I created that to be a surprise gift for my boys in the future, what an incredible gift it was to me in the present, which I was not prepared for. I did not know how much it was going to impact me to have the world reflect back to me the life that I've lived and how I'm perceived by people. So that's what I want to do in my business. What I am doing, I'm doing more videos than I am pre-planning celebrations. And
I love the videos. I think because all of us realize how quickly life can how quickly things can happen, how quickly things can change. And we want to be more prepared, prepared for, my children experienced that, when my husband died, he died of a heart attack and it was within 5 minutes. We didn't
right,
have years to think about it. And I know other
right.
people's experiences like Julie's, were different. And so if I think about what I want for my children or my family or whoever it may be, like that's what I want. I want to be able to leave them with something that will make them laugh and cry and remember and have, something that honors me. And so, um, sign
Well, the
me up.
majority of us aren't going to have the majority of us aren't going to have a diagnosis. The majority of us, it is going to be a surprise. We're not going to know that it's our last day. And so it's still misinterpreted or misunderstood where people think I'm saying to wait until there's a diagnosis and like directing me towards
Oh,
cancer centers or senior centers, because it's for seniors. I'm saying it's for all of us. And it's a
oh,
fun thing to
how?
do on your birthday. Like, that was 2016. That was 10 years ago when I did my video. It's 10 years ago when I did my plan. And sometimes I've gone in and I've changed the playlist. Sometimes
Yeah.
I've gone in and I've added, I've taken out one person's story and added a more current one. Like it's a living project. And every time I watch it, and some of the women that I've done them for, I'm thinking of one woman that we did one for her for Mother's Day, and she's like 74 at the time. And she was like, this kind of makes me like myself. And she said, you know what this makes me want? It makes me want more. I want more love, more people, more experiences. And so the videos pump life into the person that's getting celebrated. And then it's a gift for them now. And then it'll be a gift that can be repurposed later. I call it a eulogy alternative, because it's not
I
a
love you. Eulogy
it's
alternative.
well, I mean, I've been to so many funerals with people that I didn't know, and the eulogy was given by somebody that didn't know them. The name has been wrong. There's a eulogy that they never even mentioned the woman that passed. It was all biblical and about death, and I left there like that woman was amazing. There really wasn't any reflection or celebration of her at all. Now, for people that traditional funerals, or if they're fine with the way things that have always been, or they're not activated by a canned eulogy, fine. And for the people that have experienced something different or want to create something different, like I say, Jonnae's the catalyst. It was her legacy that she left. And I want that tip of the iceberg to be even bigger so that we have a culture that knows, you know, where does it sit? Bhutan. There's a place that's called the happiest in the world, and they reflect on death 5 times a day. I think that's part of the conscious living, that death doesn't scare you. It's not something that gets heavy, that you can honor it, maybe not be playful with it the way that I am. And that's just me. When I'm at a networking event, I tell people I'm a Tasmanian unicorn. When they ask me where I'm from, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I'm still waiting to be beamed up at any moment because I don't know that I belong here because of how playful and silly I can be. And I don't know what to do with it other than, like I said to you before we even got on this, like every day to show up and know that I'm making an impact. And as much as I want it to be bigger, it's okay where it's at. You know, there may be evidence that comes back that it's been big. Maybe it hasn't been big, but there's been enough where I'm happy and joyful and blissed out, and I like an 8-year-old in a 58-year-old body.
Yeah. And I think just your joy is contagious.
I hope
And your
so.
happiness is contagious. And if one person looks at you and says, you know what, I want to be like that too, even though, I feel like I've been through my darkest days, and even though, this and this and this and this have happened to me, um, I aspire and I feel like I can do that too, then that's a gift that you have given to everybody who's been listening to this right now.
Thank you.
Um,
Well, thank you for that. I do want that, and I also like. It's not like I get up with glitter and star jumps and joy every day.
I
I
mean,
like
who
that
does?
metaphor
Well,
is
maybe
Mother
you do.
Nature. I mean, Mother Nature. Look at her. I mean, she could have a beautiful blue, colorful, sunny day, and then it was snowing this morning, and then 60 and sunny in the afternoon. So there will be days where it's heavier and maybe more difficult or more challenging to show up for the party or to be in joy, and it's to know that this too shall pass. I mean, there's quotes that say that, this too shall pass, talking about the difficult stuff, but this too shall pass is the beautiful stuff too. I mean, I think it's to stay in the moment. I said think again. I know the key is to stay in the moment.
You got it. You got
The
it.
power of now. What's happened 5 minutes ago can't be changed. 5 days ago, 5 years ago can't be changed. What's awaiting us tomorrow? There'll be surprises. So I think it's to keep practicing whatever it is that you can be in the moment and find joy in it. If not joy, at least peace. And to trust that you can go from there.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your light and your love and your joy, and for showing us that, life isn't over. When someone party hops from this world, I'm going to do it from, that's going to be it from now on. Julie,
I love
you
that.
can hold me accountable to the party hopping. Life, I think that, that life's not over. The party's just begun. See, they were getting into it.
Yeah.
But really, I
So
mean,
the party poopers to the door.
and yes, there are many of us who can't get there in this moment, but you keep pulling those layers off, and you keep pulling those papers out of those bags, and you find that joy, and you find that spirit that will carry you through, and you find the joys that your person left for you, and find the joys that are in yourself. And so, again, thank you so much, and everybody can. Find out more about Denise in the resource section, all of her social media channels to follow, all of the amazing work that she does, and all the places that she's speaking. Like, I actually got caught. I was watching a video of her before we got on, and then we get on, and you could hear it in the background. I was like, sorry, I was watching you.
I love
And it
that.
was
I
the
love
video.
it.
It was the get to video, which is one that I love that phrase. It's we get to do things.
Mhm.
We're really blessed that, like, there are certain things that we get to do. So, anyway, thank you so much again for joining us,
You
and
bet.
I know that we will connect soon.
Absolutely.